Hello, friends. Happy holidays. Happy Monday. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Welcome to a brand new week. What's better than one mentor? How about two mentors? Brian B's in the building.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
How about three mentors? Jason Jani in the building.
Hey.
What's up, dudes?
What's up?
My boys right here, my brothers from another mother. So we are all three on today. Joining you live. Brian B is on a road trip back from the West. Jani's in one of his underground lairs in New Jersey. I'm in Raleigh. And man, it looks like a bunch of you guys showed up. I don't know if y'all showed up just to say hey or whatever, but we appreciate you. Shout out who we got on here. Marcus, all the way from Austria. Good day, mate. That's it. I get it. I know that's Australia. It's a joke from Dumb and Dumber. Bob Hickman, what's up? Logan Pennington's here. Jamel Watkins. DJ Smooth is here. Nate Nelson's in the building. Anyway, Mac, what's up? I see some of you people in here that have already signed up for collective mentoring, but today we're going to get into it, and really we're here for y'all to answer your questions. I think most of us can see all the comments. As always, shout out where you're from. We love to know. What's up, Jeff? What's up, Joey? What's up,
Trent? What's up?
Trent's in the bit. Trent signed up. Trent's locked in.
Hell yeah.
So we got a nice little group on here. We don't want to keep y'all too long today, and everybody, I'm sure, is running around like a maniac here with 7 days before Christmas. But we do close out tonight at midnight. We do not know when we're going to open this program up again. So for people on the fence, you know, you can sign up for a monthly, or you can sign up for an annual and get some bonuses. But go ahead. If you guys have questions, let's just get right into it. And if y'all don't have any, I'll kind of, feed some to Brian and Jason, or they can feed some to me that we've kind of been hearing over the last, I think we opened this on Thursday or Friday. Was it Thursday? Man, the days all run together. Mainly, Brian, I think you've been asked this kind of before. They specifically said, is this a single op thing or a multi-op thing? Or is this, who is this for in general? So kind of give us your 2 cents on what you and I and Jason have been planning for who you think this is best for.
Yeah, I honestly, you've done such a great job with the DJ's Vault, and that to me is the first step. Like that's the first like layer of getting better because there's so much content there. But we are trying to address a pain point for people who have kind of reached the pinnacle of that or feel like
Yeah.
there's kind of like a it's too watered down for them at some point, once you reach a certain level. And this is for like the person who's, been to a DJ collective or wanted to get there, haven't been able to afford it, or have just the timing hasn't worked out. This kind of gives you that glimpse into what we've been doing for the last like, I don't know, however many we've had, 8 of them.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's even more tailored. Like we did a little bit of a glimpse of this at the recharge where people got
Yep.
to ask us questions, and it went so well that this was really kind of that was the springboard for what this is going to be, and this is every week. So to answer your question, it's for the person who's feeling stagnant or somebody who's in the middle who's just like, I need to get to the next level. What's the next step? This is it.
Yeah. Jay, you want to piggyback on
Yeah,
that?
I would echo that. And I think in addition to that, it's funny, like all of the topic areas that we're going to talk through and work through, I feel like apply to every area, right? Like I hate the corner of like, oh, I'm a single up, I can't do the multi-op stuff, or I'm a multi-op, the single up. I think all of these topics can be applied. It's about business, it's about performance, it's about whether you're dealing with employees or contractors or colleagues. I feel like all of these topics can apply to all worlds of the entertainment business. And it doesn't have to be like I own a company or I don't own a company. I think if you work for a company, there's content here for you. It's good that you understand the whole picture. It'll make you better. It'll make you more valuable. If you own a company, obviously, like that's a strong power, right? Like you're in a position of influence, and the content that we're going to talk about here is going to definitely apply to you, but it's also going to apply to the people that work underneath you. It's going to work to the people that support you, that allow you to grow, that allow you to do the things you do. I feel like there's content for everyone.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when we think about this, when we thought about this and launching this idea and this program, it was kind of for a multitude of reasons, right? I mean, there's just some people that aren't going to come to a conference. It's not even financially. Sometimes they have another job. They've got family obligations. They don't like to travel. They don't want to come to it. So, it's like, okay, well, we're going to bring it to you virtually. And now we're going to hone it down to the 3 guys that started it based on our experiences, and I'm not saying we won't bring in a guest or 2 throughout the year. I'm sure we will, but this is basically based on 3 different insights into each of the topics that we're going to cover in a month. And I'm seeing some really good questions coming in so far here. So, I don't want to take the whole time just kind of hyping this thing up. I definitely want to get to some of these. I'll speak on this first. The question says, will there be a one-on-one component throughout the year in addition to the group calls? So that is one of the value adds of becoming an annual member. If you join today, again, the last day, it's $1,500. So that means you basically save $300. And one of the bonus adds is you get a one-on-one call with one of us at any time during the coming year, right? Now, what I will also say is based on how many people sign up, and I think it's going to be around 60, just to be transparent with you guys, 60 to 75 based on the, trending numbers right now, which is a great, perfect small group. And of course, not everybody's going to make every call. So don't think you're not going to be heard. You will. But my point was, I'm sure that throughout this year, we're going to trickle out our Calendly links, and it'll be an additional charge for an hour with Jason or Brian or myself, a very reasonable price. I think we decided on $250,000 for an hour, which I feel like is very, very lean. I'm just kidding. I think I charge a couple $100. I think those guys are around the same. If you need a little bit more kind of one-on-one, right? Or something that you really maybe want to say in private or really want to dial in on, and you really go, I know Jason is like the production god. Like I'm bypass Joe and Brian on this, and I'm gonna go to Jason because I see his pictures. I've never seen, somebody pull this kind of production. Let's go to him. Like whatever you want. But at some points throughout the year, yes, you will be trickled out a Calendly link for us to add an additional one-on-one call. Logan Smith, Low Stacks is locked in. I saw him sign up. Thank you, sir. So Marcus is in Austria. I think he's 8 hours ahead, 6 hours ahead. So he was talking about international time. Marcus, we'll kind of circle back on that, because let me kind of see where it shakes out, where people are signing up from tomorrow. And then I'll reach back out to you. You've been super supportive. Marcus actually was in Atlanta with us. He's got one of my DJ booths. Like, this guy is committed to taking it to the next level. This is a good question. State Farm Jake. Is this designed for someone that's DJing as their sole income or a supplemental income? Brian, you want to touch on that one first?
I would say both.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, if this is like the move you want to make to your new journey, and you've been doing it part time for a bit, I mean, who better to ask than some people who've kind of done that crossover? I mean, Joe, you kind of started in the DJ world, but you've held some other part time jobs at times. But Jason and I came from corporate world kind of and crossed over, so we've been there. We know how and when, and some of the pitfalls that we both ran into when we did make the jump. So I think this is you couldn't find a better place, and that stuff isn't really talked about, right? Like no one wants to really share those kind of journeys, and that's what this group allows you to do. Is like not only do we get to talk about it, but it's archived forever, and you can listen back to it or share it with your team, whatever. So yes, I think this is for both.
Yeah, I don't think you need to pigeonhole into either one of those like corners, because I feel like if you're going to be DJing, it's important that you're, operating professionally. I think there's going to be like topics that are going to like help you run whatever it is that you are in, whether it's part-time or full-time, or even if you want to just have it as a side hustle and you want to do 2 events a month. I think there's going to be content in here that will totally apply. So like, you're getting the most out of not just the financials or the contracts, but you're getting the most out of your business when you're working those 2 times a month. Why not set up a business that's going to run efficiently and optimally, right? So you have the resources around you to make your life easier and better and all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when we launched the first iteration of the DJ's Vault here 5 years ago, coming up in February, which is just unbelievable. 5 years have gone by in a blink of an eye. We were very passionate in the marketing about, quit your day job and become a full-time DJ. Well, sometimes you got to realize that some people like what they do in their other job, and they love to go out on the weekend and play private events, right? So it's really about your path, your journey, what you want to do. I mean, I don't remember a time where I wasn't a DJ from a little boy until obviously still almost every weekend. Whereas Brian and Jason, like they said, I mean, Jason was big at telecom, I think. Brian had some other jobs, even worked, for Pioneer, like early CDJ years, and had some other jobs in California before he, did what he does now. And I think what's interesting is a lot of times people ask me, like, when do you know when to turn the corner, right, and leave your day job? And it's one of the scariest questions for me, especially because I didn't do that. So I think this is a great platform, because again, you don't have one person you're asking questions to, you got 3, and we all have 3 completely different life experience and business experiences. I seen a lot of talk about the one-on-one calls again. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll make a pact now, because time is so limited, and I think Jason and Brian would probably back me up on this. We'll kind of basically say we're not going to market these one-on-one calls to people that aren't in this group or within our coaching kind of sphere. Like, I'm not going to just put it out there to Vault members and stuff. Brian's got another coaching group, but if he's got people within his sphere, that's who we'll trickle these Calendly links out to.
Yeah, I've never offered my time and I get asked all the time for one-on-one coaching, mentoring. Can I come shadow you? Can I come to an event? Can you come to me and look at my business? Like, I've never, ever, 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 ever opened that up to anyone. And my time is only going to be open to the people that are in this group. So wherever the numbers land, if someone's watching this and wants some time with me, like, this is going to be the only way that I do it. Cause I just, I want to make sure I'm focused in. And I would also say, like, you don't have to do that in the beginning. Like,
no,
let's build the relationship. Let's get through a little bit of the program, and then let's like get into some topics, because I saw another thing that came up, and it was like how it seems like it's going to be pretty quick.
Yeah, this right here. This is a great question from Logan. Yeah.
I think it's all about how we plan, right? So like, a lot of times, the crazy thing is, and what I think a lot of DJs don't realize, and we learned this when we did the Recharge event, is that there are pain points for a lot of people that are very similar. There's a lot of overlap. So like, as we start asking our family, our tribe here, what can we help you with? What are some things? Like, the answers to the questions, even though there might be 3 different answers, might overlap a lot. So I'm pretty confident that, like, yeah, there might be times where topics might need a little bit more time, and I
Yes.
don't think we're going to guard the clock per se.
No, I was about to say there's no hard stop on the Zoom where it shuts down at 59 minutes and 59 seconds or whatever. You know?
I just think there's ways to answer things. It'd be like, maybe instead of doing it being a topic, maybe we record a video offline and we send it just for the, here's, in addition to what we talked about on the call, here's something that I think answers this. Here's a video that talks about this. Here's a great resource that helped me dealing with that. You know, like, there's a lot of things that we're going to be able to do to I think, to really add tremendous amounts of value to make this worth its weight in gold. And an opportunity like this, I mean, I don't know if we're going to open it again. I know you mentioned that, Joe, but like, I don't really know. Like, we're venturing down this endeavor with an open mind, and I think I'm excited about it. I think there's going to be a lot of, like, some cool stuff to come out of this. You know?
I agree 100%, and I think it is a like an evolving tool, or like a morphing tool based on the people that do sign up, where they are in their career, how advanced we can go, where we can flip topics or tweak topics or spend more. Like Trent was asking this question, Brian. I know you were going to touch on this. Trent was asking the monthly breakdown of the topics on the website. And again, that's djcmentoring.com. Is this in order, set in stone, or just kind of like the rough draft of what the possibilities of each month's and each week's topics are? Kind of talk about that a little bit, Brian, because you were really instrumental in, like, helping plan the year.
Yeah, those weren't just, like, put together randomly. The 3 of us thought about, like, okay, in these months, what are we going through as DJ company owners, or what is coming up that would make sense for us to talk about? That being said, sometimes things, aka COVID, just comes out of nowhere. I don't even want to say that word anymore, but it is what it is, right? So things happen, and if we need a shift, then we will. If something more important comes up, but these had intentionality behind it. Let me just say that, and I think that there are evergreen topics that are going to be something that everybody, like, to Jason's point, it'll cross over for everyone at some point, as far as this stuff goes. But for now, I think it's kind of where we're headed on. I mean, to talk about sales as we're headed into January, I can't think of a better topic to talk about, because we're about to hit it full force here in about another month. So why not prepare now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the offering was at the right time. Brian and I and Jason were talking about this on a group text between us the other day, and we're just saying how noisy and crowded everything was around Black Friday and Cyber Monday and sale this, and just everybody's getting bombarded with all this stuff. And so we're kind of glad we pushed this to these last 2 weeks of the year, to where people can, and starting it in the new year, right? The 8th day of the month. We're beginning on January 8th, that night at 8:30 with the very first call. I feel like it's just a perfect way to kind of kick the year off and really kick the weeks off. And again, we may adjust the time, slide the time zones, but we know that we got people on the West Coast. And again, I'm just speaking United States right now. Don't want to ignore my international friends and family, but the West Coast, it'll be 5:30 at 8:30. So we didn't want to start too early. And we're also aware that there will be several people on there that have jobs, from 9 to 5 or 8 to 4. And so, we just need a little grace, a little patience to kind of dial that in. So far, this is a great question. We are right at 50 people. I see a few people just jumped in. Keone, my man, thank you. And
Miss that dude.
Yeah, I hadn't seen him in person in a minute. At least we're going to see him on the calls. So welcome, Keone. I saw him sign up. This is good right here. Jason, can you see that? Could you guys explain the structure of the money meetings with, say, example? Yeah, that's good. Number 65. How we structure the Q&A to make sure that our concerns or questions are covered. Jay or Brian, you want to touch on that first, and then I'll
do the last part. I'll talk about what happens if we don't get to the questions. So you go first.
Yeah, I think like what we're going to do is we're going to come up with some. We've been looking at a couple of different options of this. I think the easiest way to stay on top of this is going to be to have everyone basically get pinged with a message. Hey, we're getting ready for this upcoming week's call. here's the place to submit your question to the three of us in terms of topic, area, whatever that's on topic for that month or that you're struggling with. And then we are going to go through that and then add it into our Q&A session. Again, like we put the rough a timeline for the 30 minutes, but like it's Monday night and like we just like vault sessions. If we need to stay on, we stay on. I think the last vault session I did, I think I was on for over 2 hours, and I sat there and I answered every single question that I could.
He goes off.
That came on. So, like there's 3 different perspectives. I feel like the recharge experience was very eye-opening to me of how we can use our collective experience to help people. And I feel like anyone that was in the room for us, and there was 20 something people in the room, like we left. And I felt like for me as someone that has curated content in hopes of helping people, I felt very fulfilled with how and what I was able to share and how and what people are going to be able to do with that content to make their lives better. I just feel like it was so cool to see and like to hear conversations that like our people are struggling with, and to be able to work with them directly. I felt like that was just the magic of that. And if you're hesitant or not sure, I'm happy to talk about this more and go even offline. I just feel like there's resources like this never existed before. Like where, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's an insane. I think it's insane what can come from this for anyone that joins us.
Yeah, Brian, did you want to touch on
I
that?
was just going to say that, one of the things we had talked about, we don't know how this is going to manifest exactly, but I would like to, anything that we can't get to, like let's say we have 50 people submit 50 questions on the first one. We'll pick the ones that we think are most appropriate for right then and there. But any of the extras, I would like us to do like written responses or a video or something on these that we can then archive. And if it makes sense, for the greater good, let's say it's not something that's personal to just your business, but could be applied to anyone, then these things can be available. Because again, a lot of these questions sometimes become evergreen where you're just like, man, it would be great just to have this specific, what would Joe do here? Or what would Jason do here? And you have that archive to be able to do that. We're looking through solutions right now to how to make this work best, but that's kind of my goal is to keep these things so that we don't have to rehash the same questions that might come up again later. You can go right to the source to find exactly what you want to hear. So we're working on that.
And you'll be able to recall past conversations, past topics, past, in March, if you're struggling with something regarding sales, that was a topic in January, second week, you'll be able to go back and pull that session and look at it and hopefully, benefit from it.
Yeah, I will say this as well, just going back to the recharge. And for those of you that are watching it, we kind of hyper jumped over a lot of things. I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Joe Bunn. That's Brian Bunn of CC, and that's Jason Jani, the guys with the hair. But we do live events, right? And we do a big conference. It's about 150 people, and we just got back from Atlanta in November, and then we also in July of this year here in Raleigh, North Carolina, where Brian and I reside, we did what we called the recharge, and I think it was about 25, 30 people live event, very small. A loft hotel. And the way I knew that was successful was the way I felt, like Jason said, but also the fact that almost everybody that left there signed up to come back. And so that's how, to me, that's the benchmark of success, right? If you can get to the end of one of these things and you've given so much gold and so much value that people are like, hell yeah, there's no way I can't, not sign up again.
And just to echo, I think that is an awesome point, Joe. And some of the people that signed up again, they're not like, this wasn't their first event. This was their third event. This was their fifth event. This was, and one of the things that was actually said by one of the attendees was like, man, just when I think like you guys can't bring more, like you do. And I always leave, inspired. I always leave with information, and I leave better than when I walked in. And I feel like that is just, it's like it cuts deep. It cuts deep.
Dude, shout out Ryan McDonald. Max signed up. Shout out Jeff Kraft. Thank you. and Joe Cortez with the annual. So thank you guys. Yeah. All right, we must be making some sense today. That's good. That's good. All right. This is a great question. Brian, I'm gonna let you tackle this because you thought we should do this and we just haven't set it up yet, but it looks like I think I saw it twice.
Yeah. We'll definitely do something. I don't know if it'll be Facebook, but it'll be something.
I like the idea though, because, you know, in fact, Max said the same thing. Will there be a Facebook group for interaction with members during the week? Maybe that is the best way. You know what I mean? I mean, especially if the group is controlled, you know, there's whatever, 60, 70 people in it. That it doesn't need a lot of moderating, and you guys can, you know, ask each other questions. You can ask us questions there. Brian, can I put that on when you get back in town to set that up tomorrow or whatever? And obviously we'll be sending you guys more emails and things like that. Marcus was in Atlanta. He can confirm. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Any other questions real quick? Bob was making a comment. Collective group of people that go through the same things. Absolutely. Absolutely. I reach out to other DJs all the time across the country, from Jani to Nate and the guys at La Force and Dallas to people in California, and just get different takes on trends or problems or music. It's kind of a beautiful community, to be honest with you.
I was going to say too, I don't know if you remember this, Jay, but 2 years ago in Nashville, he and I were randomly in the same room for a break. What do they call that? Those fireside chats. And it was too small to us to do our own thing. So we're like, let's just do it jointly. And then we kind of felt bad because we're like, man, maybe they wanted our own time and not have it jointly. So we're like, let's just do a Facebook live or do a Zoom call when we get back. We did it for a full hour, not just the half hour that would have been missed. And all 16 or however many people were in there showed up. And that's when I knew like something like this could be very valuable, because like literally it could have gone even longer than the hour we held it for, but it was such a sign to me that this is necessary.
At the end of the day, I feel like there's a place for all of these learning events in our industry. There's big events, there's small events, there's mid-range events, there's
regional events,
there's regional events, there's local events, there's these national blowout party, everyone go, let's put 300 DJs on, you know, on a night and give everyone 6 minutes to flex in front of everyone. Like, there's lots of shit that goes on in our industry, and I feel like there's a place for all of it. I know, like, for me personally, for Joe, I'll speak for Brian, like, the larger events are a lot of fun. Like, there's a time and a purpose for all of that. And I feel like if that's always been like your bread and butter, that's the stuff that you're used to, you know, this might be a refreshing alternative, because like it's very intimate. It's very direct. Like, when your voice is heard at the table, I feel like there's value in that it's hard to justify. Whereas I know it. We plan big events. Like we touch on topic areas, and if people don't connect with that topic area, that's it. You can't do anything about it. You're whatever. If you're 301 and it's 101, if you're 101 and it's 301, you missed the mark. This is going to be much more in line, and there's going to be 301. There's going to be 401. There's going to be 801, but there's also going to be 101. Like, so I feel like it's going to be a little bit of everything, which is going to be, I'm just very excited about. I feel like there's a time and a place for everything that goes on in our industry. And this is something I've not really seen anyone do with the level of care and access that we plan on bringing to the table. And I feel like that's, and I don't mean to come off as like I don't want that to come off as salesy. Like, to me, it's like,
I think you're being very truthful and accurate. I mean, this is a 5-year in the making thing. I mean, you know, Dominic and I talked about this year one. What are we going to do for the people that want to ascend the next? What is the next level of the DJ's Vault? Nothing came year one. Year two, I think I started something, didn't feel right, didn't feel comfortable, didn't feel in my own skin. Maybe I thought I wasn't qualified enough. Year three, nothing happened. Year four, I mean, like, here we are 4 or 5 years later, and finally launching this Ascension program, right? For the people that, love the vault, get stuff out of it, get stuff out of the community, get stuff out of the Facebook group, get the discounts, use the documents, watch the videos that Brian have been in, that Jason have been in, watch the weekly things on Wednesday live when I have on Eric Rhodes or Joe's on. But this is like the next level. And, you know, to have 3 different perspectives to give you their insight that are all three, you know, very successful in a very competitive and you know, beautiful space is kind of amazing. This is the most excited and comfortable I've been to launch anything that I would call higher ticket in the last 5 years, put it that way. And I wouldn't have done it if both of them, like if only one had said I want to do it, I'd be like, dude, we're missing somebody. Like we need all three.
It is an investment, but I feel like one topic area that saves you time, aggravation, money. Stress.
It's worth $37.50 a week.
An issue. It's like you're talking about like that's Starbucks twice, right? Like $37.50 is like go out, take your person out for pizza. That's what you just saved, right? Like I feel like a 10-piece at McDonald's is $37.50 these days.
Now it is.
You know,
it used to be like 99 cents.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? And I do understand the investment, but I understand value. And I feel like the value proposal here on the table for anyone that joins us through midnight tonight, I feel like is worth its weight in gold. And that's not a sales topic. I just feel like, like I probably get 60 messages a day on my Instagram, and I don't even post every day anymore because like I just can't handle it. And like you come to the table, you're getting an answer. Like you're going to get an answer if you send a message. It's what it is. You know what I mean?
You got access to the three of us, and you know that's the whole thing. What's up, Los? How are you? Saw a couple other people join. I just saw the DJ Collective email go out. So again, you guys have 9 hours and 59 minutes to get in. Or if we cap it, which the cap would be 100, whichever happens first. So if you're thinking about getting in, please get in. Again, it's djcmentoring.com. Unless there's any quick last minute comments from Brian, Jason, or anybody else.
I was just going to say one thing.
Yeah,
like, you know, sometimes I did get hit up and someone was like, oh, Mondays don't work for me. And I think it's important to know, like, the content will be available for everyone after the fact. So like, you don't have to sit there on Mondays. If you don't have the time, if your shift gets moved at FedEx and you have to, because it's the holidays and whatever, no problem. Go on Tuesday morning and check it out. Go on Wednesday. Go on Sunday. Like,
and the content will be only y'all's. There will not be no repurposing of this, no YouTubing it, no vaulting it. Like it is. This is y'all group only.
And Logan, you'll never get off of Joe Bunn's marketing list. I think he's
not.
marketing. I mean, like,
I'm sorry. Just give me one more day. Just one more day. I'm sorry. I love you guys. Anyway, thank y'all so much. Happy holiday series to everybody. Brian, be careful out there on the road. Jay, great to see you. We're so stoked to start this thing with y'all. Again, djcmentoring.com. Let your non-competitive friends know to get in with us. And that's all I got. Thank y'all. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Later. Later, boys.